cold night in the metro area after the snow moved in and out earlier today. Temperatures down to the teens in some spots.
This time lapse from Thornton shows just how fickle Colorado weather can be. I mean, super sunny this morning, snowy a couple of hours later, and then the sun comes back out to melt that snow, all by 1 p.m.
There were 24 different snow squall warnings issued across Colorado today. One band of that snow rolled over I-70 near Georgetown, led to a couple of crashes there, Kathy.
That's exactly right. It was a fast-moving storm, but it was timed for the heart of the rush hour, and so a lot of issues on I-25, I-70, and just about anywhere across Colorado. But that fast-moving storm now moving out of Colorado, still seeing some moderate snow over the southeastern corner of the state along a front that extends all the way up into the Midwest. High pressure's already starting to settle in. The storm was a quick mover, dropping a quick 1 to 2 inches of snow from Arvada to Parker to Denver and DIA, and the temperatures are coming down now. We have clear skies. Light winds were down to 19 in Denver, 27 in Greeley, 17 in Lyman. Winds are still blowing in areas like Centennial, Castle Rock, up toward the Greeley area out of the west and northwest. Drier air will start to push these heavier snow bands out of the state over the next few hours, but difficult travel expected to continue over the higher terrain with winter weather and travel advisories out until about midnight tonight. Our temperatures starting to come down, and we'll see them drop like a rock overnight, but we've got a warmer Wednesday. We're tracking a weekend storm and another chance for snow. I'll have details on that coming up.
Tonight, Lakewood Police are searching for the driver who hit and killed a man last week. That man was a member of Colorado's fencing community.
9 News reporter Lawrence Scafidi spoke with some of his friends who say he will be deeply missed.
When he hit the fencing strip, Terry Engdahl was a fighter.
He was fierce.
Though friends know, Terry's fight truly started years ago.
And especially after the motorcycle wreck and then fighting so hard through all of this and doing everything to stay alive. And his right side was really affected, so he didn't walk very well.
Now those who fenced alongside him,
that's us two together,
like Chris Sotoff, are fighting to find out what happened to Terry.
I just screamed. I was like, what? And I had to sit down and...
The Lakewood Police Department says Friday on Kipling Street in West 23rd Avenue, a driver hit and killed a pedestrian and took off.
Everyone's sad, you know, everyone's sad. Well, we're not gonna hear him going, okay, good. You know, we're not gonna hear that anymore.
With nothing left but reminders of their dear friend.
So this here is Terry Engdahl's chair that he fenced in.
The Denver Fencing Club is devastated. They'll never see Terry again.
This smile, that guy right there. He was just always so gung-ho, happy, ready to live life, you know. Yeah, we're gonna miss him a lot here. We really miss him already.
Now they want to know who is responsible.
So when someone touches us, we say, touche, you got me. And we own up to mistakes, and we wish that people would own up to their mistakes. Whoever did this could just own up to it, admit it.
Lakewood Police and CBI are still looking for this car. It's a black 2014 Chevrolet Camaro with the license plate on your screen. They say that the car has heavy damage to the front end, the windshield, and the driver's side headlight. If you've seen it or know anything about this crash, call police.
All right, Lawrence Scafidi, thank you.
Police say they found the pieces stolen from the MLK Jr. Monument at City Park, and now they're looking for 2 suspects. Investigators say 3 bronze pieces were taken and sold as scrap metal. There were also 7 bronze pieces stolen from the Joseph Addison Thatcher Memorial Fountain. Police aren't sure when that theft happened. Police are looking for these 2 men. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers.
Aurora Police had an undercover officer assigned to monitor jury duty for the first trial related to Elijah McClain's death. That officer's hallway surveillance of a Latino juror led to his dismissal. A newly unsealed court document shows that undercover APD officer told the judge that she overheard the man, who's described as Juror 14, saying in Spanish that he hated the police. Apparently, he was on a phone call in a courthouse hallway. The judge dismissed Juror 14 that afternoon. The trial for the 2 officers went ahead with the jury that was almost all white. We learned about that undercover officer's actions after Colorado Public Radio filed a petition to unseal the transcript. That jury ultimately convicted Randy Redeema of criminally negligent homicide and acquitted Officer Jason Rosenblatt. The undercover officer told the judge she was monitoring the trial to gather intelligence on potential protests. Aurora police now say that they did not send undercover officers to monitor the other 2 trials related to Elijah McClain's death.
Snow and the colder temperatures this morning were a welcome sight for firefighting crews around the Colorado Springs area as they continue to battle 2 fires. Officials say the West Monument Creek fire near the U.S. Air Force Academy has burned 168 acres. As of tonight, crews have flames about 75% contained. They say it sparked Sunday, but they're still not sure what caused it. At Fort Carson, crews say they fully contained a fire that sparked there on Sunday and grew to about 700 acres. They say a second fire that started burning yesterday is now 75% contained. That one grew rather quickly, reaching about 2,700 acres thanks to gusty winds. Firefighters do not believe the fires are connected.
Environmentalists have issues with the Suncor settlement, even though it is the largest penalty for air pollution violations in Colorado history. Suncor agreed to pay more than $10 million in penalties and double the number of air quality control devices around the edge of the refinery in Commerce City. Environmental groups have been concerned about Suncor's pollution for years, and they say the timing of the settlement came as a surprise.
I gotta say, CDPHE, the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, wrote a strong permit. And then Suncor comes in with their resources and sues. And then we have to try to intervene just to stay in the know. But these settlement conversations are often just so in the dark.
The environmental groups also told us that they're worried that the court is not actually going to enforce the terms of the settlement.
In healthcare, the difference in treatment that Black women get compared to others is stark, dangerous. It's not getting any better. As part of our Black History Month coverage, 9 News reporter Rachel Krause sat down with an OBGYN in Louisville to talk about why these disparities exist and what can be done about them.
So it's generational, it's historical, and it's ongoing today.
Dr. Dawn Owens-Robinson works as an OBGYN at Advent Health of Vista in Louisville. She's been doing this work a long time.
Over 23 and a half years.
In that time, she's seen firsthand the disparities facing Black women in healthcare.
So if we're talking maternal and pregnant women, we are 3 to 4 more times likely to die in childbirth or the first 42 days after delivery. Black babies are 2.5 times more likely to die in the first year of life.
These disparities aren't just frustrating, they can be deadly.
It's because of lack of income, lack of jobs, lack of employment, lack of insurance, racism, institutional, systemic. In the healthcare system, it's lack of generational wealth, it's lack of food, it's food deserts, maternal deserts. The list goes on. People want to say it's access and people want to say it's poor. But Dr. Shalon Irving worked for the CDC epidemiology department. She had 2 PhDs, 2 master's degrees, and was fighting this same subject. And 15 days after delivery died.
She says having a provider who looks like you and understands you can make a difference.
Studies have shown that we survive better, our Black babies survive better, we listen better, we do better when the providers in front of us have similar cultural backgrounds and respect from what we're coming from.
She's seen it firsthand.
When you can walk in the room, even with mask on, you could see their face light up. You could see their shoulders drop down. You could see them smiling beneath the mask because they're like, ooh, this doctor looks like me. So I think it's just a level of comfort and trust.
And it's not something that's common. The National Medical Association reports less than 6% of physicians in the U.S. are Black. Dr. Owens-Robinson says graduating med school, now serving women, means so much.
But I think it's even more meaningful 23 years later. I tell patients, sometimes I cry at deliveries, and I tell fathers, I said, this is a miracle. You know, I'm involved in the miracle of life every day. So I'm blessed.
It's what pushes her to advocate for more equity in healthcare. She says solutions won't be simple, but that work needs to start now.
And I think that's where it starts. I think we need to look at ourselves and see where we can do better.
As for those solutions, Dr. Owens-Robinson says implicit bias training in healthcare should be mandatory. More education, especially when it comes to prevention, is key. Now, for the delivery room, she says having midwives and doulas can make a massive difference in creating positive outcomes for both mom and baby. And
the big one. She says we have to address and deal with generational systemic racism in healthcare and begin the long path forward to addressing and improving it.
Yeah, and one of the ways to do that, too, is to get more Black OBGYN and other doctors. I did a story on this a couple of years ago. I think there were 5 in the Denver area, just 5 for the 10% of Black women in Denver. That's tough.
Yeah, and she said she knew she wanted to be a doctor when she was 5 years old, and people told her in middle school and high school, no, be a teacher. She said it was a hard path, but it was one that was so worthwhile.
Yep, she's doing great work. We need more like her. Thank you for this.